In January, there'll be some new faces in the city council, and today we meet some of the incoming freshmen, 3 Democrats representing 3 boroughs. In Queens, Ty Hankerson is with us. He's laser focused on quality of life issues for residents in Southeast Queens. Justin Sanchez also joins us in studio. Representing parts of the South Bronx, he shares his vision for a safer and more affordable community. And representing Southern Brooklyn, Kayla Santos, the 4th generation small business owner, wants to protect mom and pop shops that are being priced out of the community. All that and so much more in a moment. But first, there'll be another new face in City Hall, 28-year-old Rama Dwaji, already making a name for herself as Gen Z's stylish First Lady. Here's Ayanna Harry.
As a year-long campaign finally came to a close, they walked hand in hand, they voted together, and hours later the newlyweds stood center stage, sharing this moment. Thousands cheered on the new first couple of New York City.
To my incredible wife, Rama. Hayati, there is no one I would rather have by my side in this moment and in every moment.
Aside from Election Day, Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani's wife, Rama Dwaji, has largely shied away from politics and from the public spotlight. But now, at 28 years old, she's poised to become one of the youngest First Ladies in New York City history.
Younger women, Muslim women, women of color, women who have immigrant backgrounds, they can relate to her in a way that they haven't been with some previous First Ladies.
Born in Houston, Texas to Syrian parents, Dwaji spent part of her childhood in Dubai before eventually returning to the United States and graduating from Virginia Commonwealth University. After moving to New York City, she completed a master's degree at the School of Visual Arts, and she's grown her career in art. Dwaji's animations have been featured in documentaries and in music videos. Her illustrations have lined the pages of The New Yorker and Vogue. In an April interview with Young magazine, Dwaji described the motivation behind her work, saying, "With so many people being pushed out and silenced by fear, all I can do is use my voice to speak out about what's happening in the U.S. and Palestine and Syria as much as I can." Dwaji also shares her art with her 1.4 million followers on Instagram.
She's also very political in the art that she does. And I think some of what she does really kind of aligns with her husband's position. But there are times when she's also talking about particularly the experience of women in Middle Eastern culture.
As a couple, Mamdani and Dwaji have kept much of their love story private, with Mamdani briefly opening up in interviews.
I met my wife on Hinge, so there is still hope in those dating apps.
In October 2024, Mamdani launched his campaign for mayor and went public with their relationship. In February, the two wed at the city clerk's office, celebrated in Uganda, where Mamdani was born, and then Mamdani returned right back to the campaign trail.
My wife and I were currently in 30-minute increments watching the Mission Impossible series. We just finished Mission Impossible.
In 30-minute increments?
We don't have much time.
And the couple's schedule may not be slowing down anytime soon, as Mamdani prepares to become mayor and Dwaji First Lady.
One of the most interesting things about being a First Lady is there is no job description anywhere.
Quinnipiac University professor Lisa Burns has studied the role of first spouses and watched those married to politicians in the spotlight chart their own path.
I think the First Ladies we've seen over the years that have been most successful are the ones who have really stayed true to themselves. They've figured out sort of where they're comfortable, what they really enjoy doing.
That's Ayanna Harry reporting for us on this Sunday. Let's begin today's conversation with Ty Hankerson, Queens Councilman-elect. It's so good to see you.
Pleasure being here
and
with you, Cheryl.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
I've known
much.
you a long time, and now you're stepping into the spotlight. Yes. You'll be representing Southeast Queens, and you've worked with, you were Chief of Staff to Council Speaker Adrienne Adams. Tell us what you learned from that experience that will now inform your own legislative career.
So much. Working for the Speaker has been the opportunity of a lifetime.
When you think about Adrienne Adams, you think about poise and class. And so one of the major things that I learned from her is to always take every opportunity and ensuring that you're serving the people with class, making sure that the standard is excellence. And so coming into the council, our team will ensure that we carry on that legacy.
Okay, and one of the things you want to address when you take over, when you're sworn in January, public safety. Yeah. And I want to speak the name of 13-year-old Sanji Samuel from your district who was killed in September. That really shook the community. Yeah. No one wants to go back to the bad old days of the 80s when kids were being slaughtered on the streets of Southeast Queens. And you have an agenda. You want to invest in youth services, and you have experience in that.
I do. Sanjay was actually from the neighboring district, but in Southeast Queens, we're all one community. Right. For us, it's important that we invest in youth services. Prior to coming to the council, I served as a director at Southern Queens Park Association, otherwise known as Roy Wilkins Park. And I've seen firsthand what the needs were of teenagers and young people. I myself at the time, my first job was at Roy Wilkins, and I was 17 years old. Wow. And so ensuring that there's not just programming, but access to jobs and internships. I believe we also need mentors. We need mentors to step in. This is where the community, I believe there is a clarion call now for the community to become more invested in our young people. And coming into the council, one of the things that we will ensure that we do is create coalitions of community leaders, community representatives, to mentor our young folks. And
you also have a focus on the elder. Lots of seniors in Southeast Queens, and they have the homes, and they're starting to.
I'm all of their grandson.
Yeah, that's right. They love you, and so you want to increase services for seniors, right?
I do. So Southeast Queens, anyone who knows Southeast Queens, we're known because of our wonderful seniors, as the speaker likes to call them, the jewels of Southeast Queens. And so I want to ensure that we are continuing with our senior programming, ensuring that no senior center closes on our watch. We cannot allow that. Our seniors have paved the way, and now it's our job to ensure that they are taken care of.
Gentrification is a big thing in Southeast Queens. There are lots of projects that are going to change the face of the community. And now here you're coming into the city council. What are your specific concerns about people being priced out of your district?
We have to ensure that housing is affordable. And that looks a little different for Southeast Queens because we have homeowners in Southeast Queens as compared to other parts of the city. One of the things that I want to ensure that we do as a council is expand access to funds for first-time homebuyers, and also ensuring that there are pots of funds for those who want to maintain their homes or fix up their homes, expanding access to those resources as well. It's necessary, it's needed. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Rochdale Village, who right now—
That's your district.
That is my district. They're facing a carrying charge of 31%. 31%. Essentially, that would be pricing them out of their own community. And so we're calling on all the help that we can, from the governor to local elected officials to the mayor-elect, to assist us in ensuring that we keep the folks in Rochdale in their homes.
I think the mayor-elect campaigned in Rochdale Village. Does he know about that? And what would be your message to the incoming Mamdani administration about what's happening to people in Rochdale Village?
Sure. We invited him to Rochdale Village, and he did show up. And so I'm grateful for that. And he had the chance to speak directly to the residents in Rochdale. And his message was that we will do everything that we can to ensure that they stay in their homes. He put it in this line, that this is not a rent increase, this is an eviction. And that can't be. And so I am looking forward to partnering with his administration to ensure that we're not just protecting those in Rochdale, but those in South Richmond Hill, South Ozone Park, and South Jamaica.
Your new district. Congratulations again, Ty Hankerson, Queens Councilman-elect. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Still to come.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay.
Aye.
Any abstentions? The ayes have it. We will, cheers. Thank you, Soros.
The sorors of Alpha Kappa Alpha Incorporated get a special honor in the City Council. We'll be right back. Hey, thanks for staying with us as we meet newly elected members of the City Council. Joining us now is Justin Sanchez, who represents parts of the South Bronx. So great to meet you.
So nice to meet you as well, Cheryl. Great to be here.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
And you know, I asked you before we started rolling, I said, you're Boricua? And you said, you're more than Boricua.
Yes, I'm Puerto Rican, but I'm also Dominican, I'm Dominican, Puerto Rican, Mexican, and Honduran. So
You're the United Nations.
I'm the United Nations of Latinidad, and happy to show all the different flavors that the South Bronx has.
That's fantastic. And one of the things you want to do when you enter the City Council in January, you want to put a new face on the South Bronx because sadly, it has a reputation for the highest crime, you know, asthma, all bad things. We have Vanessa Gibson on the show very often. And you want to change the narrative, right?
Absolutely. We have so much more than, you know, everything that they try and say about us, but it's because they haven't come to visit us. We have amazing cultural institutions. We have amazing restaurants. I'm a huge foodie. I love to make sure that I'm trying all of our new chefs, all of our new family establishments. So the water's warm. Come on over to the South Bronx. We can't wait to have you.
Dip your toe into the South Bronx. But on a serious note, let's talk about environmental racism. I know that, you know, Asthma Alley is a major issue. They want to put a cap over parts of the Cross Bronx Expressway. Where do you stand on that?
I've been fighting for a cap on the Cross Bronx since 2017 at the Bronx Borough President's office. So a little background. I learned how to give albuterol to my baby siblings when I was 6 or 7 years old, growing up on the Bruckner Expressway. And for me, what that showed was environmental justice hits home immediately. And so what I'm trying to do is make sure that we're finding ways that our families don't have to go through that, whether it's through capping the Cross Bronx, whether it's helping the state commit to blue highways, whether it's electrifying our trucks, making sure that we are just giving back, you know, some great environment to our communities. And it starts by doing the local things, by planting trees. We will have our big fights that we need to work with our state and city partners to do, but it can also start right here by making sure that we're doing the basics, like picking up our trash, getting trees planted, showing that community environment can work for us.
Yeah, and you know, you talk about doing the local thing. There are so many food deserts in your district especially. What do you want to see as it relates to that?
Well, in addition to our food deserts, we also are the food hub.
Exactly.
We have the Hunts Point Produce Market.
Yeah,
we have the
right
Hunts
there.
Point Meat Market. We have the Hunts Point Fish Market. And so what I would love to do is show everyone, not only in our community, but all over the city, that we have the best supermarket on the East Coast. Come on by to Hunts Point and let's show you the fresh products that you can get and how we can make sure that all local neighborhoods are getting access to that produce. And so it's really opening the doors of these markets and making sure that they're working integrated with our communities, but also making sure that we're holding folks accountable to make sure that we have our supermarkets, that we're having our fresh produce, being able to work with the administration, you know, our state partners, our city partners, to make sure that we're getting the best kind of food because we have the best food right in our backyard.
Yeah, and we had Mayor-elect Mamdani here, and you know, he talked about setting up cheaper grocery stores, one in each borough. Do you want one of those grocery stores to be in the South Bronx?
Absolutely. I mean, we have, you know, we have the baseline. We have commissaries all over this country. We have ideas that we can actually turn into praxis. And so ideally what I'm trying to do is make sure that we get these ideas that are theoretical and turn them right into praxis as soon as we can so that our people can actually get the help that we need.
Okay, and let's talk about, you want to invest in community libraries.
Yes.
Yeah, explain why.
I went to Bronx Science, and the way I got to Bronx Science is my mom and I used to pop around from library to library to library, finding every new SHSAT book that we could find, and that's how I studied. We didn't have money for fancy tutors, we didn't have money for any of this. It was the libraries. It was the libraries that gave us, my family and me, the opportunity to be sitting right here across from you, Cheryl, and I want to make sure that I'm giving that same opportunity back to our kids, and I think that starts fundamentally at libraries, that access to education, making sure that we have 7-day service, especially in communities that need it the most, because the libraries are our lifelines, and I want to make sure that I am doing my part to ensure that they the people in my neighborhood and my community have that lifeline as well.
Well, that is so wonderful. Congratulations on winning a council seat representing the South Bronx. And we hope to have you back once you get rolling and see how it's going.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Justin Sanchez, Bronx City Councilman-elect. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Time for another break. In Focus continues right after this. And now, a flashback from our New York One archives. August 30th, 2004, 21 years ago, the Republican National Convention takes center stage at Madison Square Garden.
Welcome to my New York.
Former Mayor Michael Bloomberg rolled out the red carpet for the GOP, and protesters in the overwhelmingly Democratic town came out in force, condemning the war in Iraq. Despite the mass demonstrations and street closures outside of the garden, George Bush accepted his party's nomination for a second term.
I'm honored by your support, and I accept your nomination for President of the United States.
But things got ugly. Protesters clashed with police. Some 2,000 people arrested in Manhattan during the convention.
Anyone with media that blocks the street will be arrested.
The convention's theme? A safer world and a more hopeful America. But the four-day event became a national spectacle in the media and reflected the deeply polarized political environment. By the way, New York City has not hosted a political convention since 2004. Welcome back to In Focus as we talk with new members of the City Council. We're joined by Kayla Santos, who represents Southern Brooklyn. Congratulations on your big win.
Thank you so much.
You know, this is an exciting time for you. You will be the first woman to represent District 47. How does that feel?
It's hard to believe, but it feels amazing. I'm glad we've finally broken that barrier. It took a little too long, but we're here.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the things that you're very proud of, you are a fourth-generation small business owner. And in Bay Ridge, you bear witness to mom and pop shops being priced out of the community.
Yeah.
Tell us more about that.
I mean, if you've been in Bay Ridge, you know we have an amazing array of small businesses, and a lot of them have been around for multiple generations. But businesses are struggling to survive, and I think it's a lot of things. It's you know, the fines and fees they face, it's high utility bills. In my case, we also had a triple net lease, and so property taxes of the building owner becomes the small business owner's problem. And all too often we see businesses closing. Unfortunately, there is a historic movie theater in my district that's been around for forever. It's one of the oldest in the city, independently owned. Their property taxes alone for a small theater is something like $400,000 a year. That is just not right.
And so it's not sustainable.
That's right. That's right. And this is someone who really tries to keep his prices low for working families. So we have to do what we can to make sure that property taxes aren't the reason that we're pricing out small businesses out of our neighborhoods.
And you know, you previously were chief counsel for my friend, Councilman Justin Brennan, and you worked with him a lot. What have you learned from him, and how will that inform your new legislative career in the City Council?
Yeah, I mean, I think he has really set up a model in Southern Brooklyn of local government that actually responds to people and actually solves their problems, no matter how small. He talks about sort of sweating the small stuff, whether that's, you know, a cat that's stuck in a tree, a pothole, or something more serious, like you can't afford your utility bill. It rebuilds people's trust in government when they know that their local city council members actually going to fix things for them. So that's the legacy that I want to, you know, first and foremost prioritize as we move forward.
Yeah, and you prioritized affordability. That was a big part of your campaign platform. And once you are sworn in, what do you want the city council to do as it relates to housing and childcare? Yeah. Two big issues.
Definitely. So childcare was one of the main things that I campaigned on, and that really came as a result of conversations that I had with parents on the doors when I was knocking doors. You know, it became very clear that a lot of families are sort of shouldering essentially a second rent payment, $1,800 to $2,000 per child. And that is why we are losing working families from our cities. And we just simply can't afford for that to happen. And so my number one priority this coming year, and I think this is something that the incoming administration agrees with, is to really push for universal child care from ages 0 to 2 as much as we can to try to keep working families
here. For
here.
the older kids, there's an issue with underperforming schools in southern Brooklyn, right? That's something else you want to focus on.
Yeah, for sure. We have excellent schools, but we, and Councilmember Brannan has built, something like 4 or 5 new schools that I'll be able to sort of see through. But we need additional resources to help with complying with class size law. There are a shortage of after-school programs in a lot of our schools. So I just want to make sure our local schools have what they need to thrive, and that'll be a main priority for me as well.
Yeah, and you perhaps have an advantage. You actually worked with Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Tell us more about
I was actually his boss, which is something that he likes to joke about every once in a while. But I managed a campaign in 2017, and he was a field organizer on that campaign. And this is something I said to voters who supported him and voters who didn't, that I can testify that he has a work ethic like no other, energy like no other. He's smart, he's talented, and he loves the city and really prioritizes the people in it. So I'm hopeful about, a strong working relationship and good things to come for the city.
And we wish you good things to come. Congratulations again, Kayla Santos, Brooklyn City Council member-elect. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Cheryl.
And now our final focus. The sorors of Alpha Kappa Alpha Incorporated gather for a special celebration in the City Council chambers.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay.
Aye.
Any abstentions? The ayes have it. We will, cheers. Thank you, sorors.
Yeah, cheers. January 15th, officially designated AKA Day. The resolution sponsored by Speaker Adrian Adams and Majority Leader Amanda Farias. They're proud members of the first Black female sorority in the U.S.
Pre-considered resolution sponsored by myself and Majority Leader Farias, declaring January 15th as Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated Day in the city of New York, in recognition of our sorority's enduring commitment to service and scholarship and its positive impact on families and communities across the world.
Alpha Kappa Alpha was founded on the campus of Howard University in Washington, D.C. in 1908, and the sisters who wear pink and green couldn't be prouder. Hey, thanks for watching In Focus. I'm Cheryl Wills. We appreciate you spending your Sunday with us.